So get ready to laugh. Please turn off your cell phones and help me welcome to the stage the host of the student showcase, Ed Galvez.
Hey everybody, how are you guys doing? A couple things. One, over at the bar we have Chris Gorbos, who's be bartending for you. Chris, do you have any bar specials tonight?
We've got a bunch of $3 beers. Also, we have a Christmas ale anchor scheme because it's the season to get drunk.
Aww. Okay, great. Those are your drink specials.
That's it.
Let's see, what else? Oh, also, yeah, if you have your cell phones, be sure to turn them off and stuff. All right, let me tell you a little bit about me. Did you guys have a nice Thanksgiving? Yeah. I had a great time because I get to hang out with my nephew, and he's awesome. Because he's 15 years old, and he reminds me of me when I was 15 years old, you know? And I'm just like, oh, I remember being that stupid and stuff. But he was telling me about how he has the hots for this girl, and he'd been like hanging out with her and spending time with her and stuff. But he went in to give her like the first kiss, and the girl gave him the cheek switcheroo. Now, if you don't know what the cheek switcheroo is, it's this. It's like when you're a guy, this will be a guy, and you go in to kiss the hot chick, I'll be the hot chick. When the guy comes in to give the girl the kiss, the girl will non-verbally go psych, and then the guy's like, oh no, what do I do? What do I do? I know, I'll kiss her on the cheek and pretend that's what I was going to do the whole time. Why are things weird? And the thing is, it doesn't matter if you're 15 or 115, like that will shatter your self-esteem so much. So since he looks up to me, I have to give him some type of advice. So I was like, you know what? Forget that girl. This is what you do, okay? Next time you go for the kiss, and the girl gives you the cheek switcheroo, do not kiss her on the cheek, right? What you do is you just creep up to her ear and you go, I smelled you fart, and you're disgusting. The thing I don't like about hanging out with him is that he's always trying to get me to play video games. And the thing is, I've been video game sober since 2002. Like, thank you. I got my chip right here. Anyway, like I hit rock bottom with Bond GoldenEye for N64, and you guys have chased that dragon. But the thing is, like, because like with video games, like in the past, it's like you play for a while and then you stop. But like video games now, even if you're awesome, and that's still like 40 hours out of your life gone forever, okay? And it's like becomes like a coke habit. Like you're up to like 4 in the morning. Like your life will get better if you beat this level tonight, or you'll get a coupon for free hooker. But it never happens, you know. But the thing that I hate is that you'll actually fight with the console like it's an abusive relationship or just like some mean girlfriend. Because like, here, let me show you. 'Cause you'll be playing and you'll be like, all right, come on, we can just do it. God damn it! Fuck you! You're gonna do this to me? I pay the electric bill. Without me, you're nothing. You let my roommate play you. You let my roommate beat you, but you're not gonna let me beat you? Fuck you! Have a nice life alone. Slam. Look at me! I'm reading and getting smart on books, not getting stupid on you! Don't you feel stupid? Slam! Look at me! I'm exercising so I can get skinny and fuck girls! Not fucking my life on you! Why are you still here? Slam! Oh, what are you doing here? You're looking well. Oh, you notice I have been working out. Of course I miss you. It's just not healthy. Oh, I'm so good at this. I just need some time to think. Slam. I'm so sorry, baby. We can totally make this work. Just give it one more chance. What the? Hey, what the? And that's how that one ends. So I went through a breakup recently, and it was the healthiest breakup anybody could have ever gone through, all right? We were together for like 2 years, and the first 1.5 years was great, but then the last 6 months we just kind of drifted apart. And we're like, hey, we can stay together, and we're gonna hate and resentment, or we can like part ways and salvage a friendship. And we're like, we're adults, let's do that, okay? The thing is, she got on Foursquare right after the breakup. And if you don't know what Foursquare is, it's a social networking site that syncs up to your Facebook and Twitter and lets everybody know where you're at all times, okay? Like I said, we're happy that we're apart, like we never even fought, you know? But the thing is, since I wasn't seeing anybody, and I was constantly seeing where she was at all times, I was kind of like slowly going crazy, just making up things. So like I'd be on my phone and I'd be like, I'd see her feed and I'd be like, oh, I'm at Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm all, oh, buying some new black satin sex sheets for your new sex friend, huh? Your old sheets are all thin and full of holes and stains, you gotta get some new ones. I'm at Starbucks coffee. Almost been tired from all that new sex you're getting from your new sex friend. You gotta get your energy up for that nooner. I'm at Home Depot. Oh, building a sex ring, I see, huh? You did a sex ring when you were with me because we were happy. Good old-fashioned, tender, loving care. And I have some, like, trapeze monkey boyfriend, probably from Russia. But if he could pick the nits out of your fur, of course not, because you don't have fur. But if you did have fur, he wouldn't do it. And I would, because I miss you. Awkward sympathy is the what I'm going for, guys. I guess notice how we treat our phobias differently. Like if you're like agoraphobic, you're like, oh, I don't want to go outside because I'm a mouse. But if you're homophobic, you're just a jerk. You're just like, ah, those people love each other and have nothing to do with me. Rage. I hate them. And I always wondered, like, what happened to that guy? Like, he slipped in a banana peel and he hit his head and he got like all his phobias all mixed up. So he got his like arachnophobia and his homophobia mixed up. I like to think like his day would do something like this, where I'd just be like, ah, son of a bitch, there goes the garage. Honey, goddamn spiders are taking over the neighborhood. What, don't tell me I'm overreacting. What's gonna happen? Those spiders are gonna want to marry other spiders, then there's gonna be a big parade down Main Street. Do you want that? Of course not. Cobwebs everywhere. And then they're gonna get a membership in my gym. They're gonna be diddling their thoraxes while they watch me shower. Do you want that? Of course not. I'm your man. How are we gonna feel when our son goes to prom with a brown recluse? It's not God's way. It's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Tarantula. But then whenever he does see a gay guy, he's like, eek, 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 and just chases him around with a slipper. All right, are you guys ready to get the show started? Coming up first on stage, this girl is not only hilarious, she's a very talented improviser. She comes all the way from Chicago. She was performed on the Sex City cruise ships. Please put your hands together for Carissa Deist.
Hey, I was actually going to put that theme music together. I'm glad you knew to do that. Hi guys, I'm Carissa. I like my name because it sounds like biting into an apple. Think about that one. It's a thinker. Right. Okay. So I was always drawn to comedy as a kid. I used to watch a lot of Looney Tunes, Muppets, old sitcoms, things like that. And it got kind of dangerous because I got really into the Three Stooges, which in TV land is hilarious and fun, but not nearly as fun when you're a kid because there are no pie fights ever in your life, which is unfortunate. That's all I really wanted. All I wanted was somebody to slip on a banana peel in front of me. So I decided I would try this, like somehow the laws of physics would work. So I went to a kitchen, I'm like 5, and I noticed we don't have any bananas, so I went and got my crayons and some sheets of paper and drew bananas on paper and strategically placed them throughout the kitchen and hid behind the fridge, just giggling, waiting, hoping my parents would just see them and either slip as if they were banana peels or get the message to fall on your ass for me, please, because I would really enjoy that. But they didn't, and I know when I have kids, I will fall on my ass for them because I know it'll make their day, because it would have with me. But you know, kids, I don't know about you guys. As a kid, I didn't get comedy, and the more kids I see, they don't get it. They just repeat jokes until finally, eventually, they kind of get it. I used to run into my parents' bedroom and wake them up screaming, "Take my wife, please!" which got a laugh because it's weird to hear Jack Benny bits out of your 5-year-old at 7 in the morning. I'd laugh at that, but then again, I'd also slip on a banana peel for my kid. So, I remember the first time I told my first original joke ever. I was 5. My mom was making Mexican food because it was rural Wisconsin and it was exotic. So she's making Mexican food and she's got this big jar of old El Paso refried beans, and I go, yeah, more like El Paso Gasso. Oh my God, I'm a genius. Oh my God. Why have I not heard anyone tell this joke before? And I still think I am. I'm a genius for telling that joke at 5 years old. Farts and wordplay, it's the beating heart of comedy, and I hit on it at 5. And I'm proud of that. So I think I get my sense of humor from my mom, and by sense of humor, I mean things to talk about with my therapist, which we then, Dr. Tucker and I, craft into jokes for you. So you can blame her if that doesn't go very well. So I had to call my mom for her birthday the other day, right? Because you have to call your mom on her birthday, no matter how much scarring she has done to you. That's kind of the rule. I call her, and I hadn't talked to her in about 2 years, and I was like, oh, how have you been? And she's like, oh, Chris, you'd be so proud of me. She's like, I've been in AA. I stopped drinking. And I was like, oh, is that right? She's like, yeah. She's like, I stopped drinking and I've been going to the meetings and I've gone through all the steps, all 12 of those steps I've gone through, and it's been really hard, but I made my amends, and I've really looked at some really tough demons and stuff like that, but I got through it and I got through all the steps. And I was like, cool. And she was like, yeah, but between you and me, I'm not really an alcoholic. And I was like, well, I never said I was a friend of Bill W., but isn't that step one? Isn't the first step? Is admitting your problem? I feel kind of guilty telling these jokes because we've actually talked to her today. I knew I had this thing coming up tonight, and I was like, oh, I know these jokes I'm gonna tell, and she was being super sweet, but fuck it. So yeah. So then she was like, when I was on the phone with her, she was like, Chris, you'd be so proud of me. That's always how it goes. You'd be so proud of me. I haven't had a drink in 3 years. 3 years. And I was like, wow, that is great. Hey, remember that time at my wedding when you showed up with your friends, and one of whom I didn't know, the weird one who was angry with the cane, and somebody was like telling my stepmother that she didn't belong in the front row because she wasn't really family, you guys were all really tanked? Right, that was 2 years ago. My mom is not the best with reality, and AA has not helped her with that. In fact, it's unbelievable how she is like, she would give Stephen Hawking, like, it blow his mind with the way she's able to like contort reality and space-time within her mind and like create things that didn't actually happen. And I always say that she, instead of continuing to talk about the movie project she hasn't made in the past 14 years, maybe she should try to manifest a job or an apartment, something like that. Or a future in quantum physics, I don't know. But the one thing that I am going to miss most of all, the one thing I'm gonna miss, well, my mom's now an age, she's not drinking, which means I don't get any more late night drunk dials, which was like the best part, or the most annoying, depending on my mood at the time. But my mom, when she drunk dials, she goes into this like Madonna-esque faux British accent, which is both either annoying or wonderful, depending on the mood I'm in. If I'm drunk too, that'd be great. But she's like, she'll call me, right, and she'll be like, oh, that's the other thing too. She's from Milwaukee, right, and she's from a blue-collar family, and she's ashamed of this, as anyone would be, I suppose. But there's something about like having a glass of Pinot that makes her become who she is. You know what I mean? Like she really just is like, this is who I am. I am royalty, or what, I don't know what I spent years in therapy, I don't know what she thinks, I don't know, but she starts doing this Madonna British accent, right, so it's like, but she can't keep it together, and she has kind of a potty mouth, so she'll be like, literally, Chris, literally, you'd be proud of me, literally. Chris, I went to this party, and this fucking guy has to be 70 years old, puts his arm around me, the nerve to put his arm around me, and is like, you're going to be my next trophy wife. I mean, what a cunt, right? My God. Literally. Thanks, guys, you've been great.
With her mom, she sounds cool. Coming up next to the stage, this guy is also hilarious. He comes all the way from Guatemala. Please put your hands together for Luis Patos.
Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? Well, a little bit about me. I love singing. When I'm sad, I love to sing. When I'm happy, I love to sing. So when I came here in 2001 from Guatemala, I went to San Francisco, and times were really hard there, very hard. You know, I was very lonely. I didn't have many friends, so it was hard for me. So what I did is I started to sing, and I'm a big fan of Disney and Cyndi Lauper. So every time I would get sad, and you know, like for instance, if I would get fired from a job, I would go to Dolores Park, and I would just, I don't know, I had a thing for swings or something, because I would go to a swing, and I would grab the swing, and I would be like, lying in my bed, hear the, you know, I was like, that became my thing until I almost got arrested. So I had to stop. So when things got better, better, it was when I got my third job. I got hired as a caretaker. So when I went to the interview, they're like, well, you know how to take care of people? And I'm like, I can do that. So it's like, so they hired me, and my job consisted in basically taking care of this old guy. He was about 70, he was about 200 pounds, he was Arabic, and by taking care of him meant me basically doing everything for him. I had to change him, sometimes I had to feed him, and sometimes I had to change his diaper, which consisted of me having him grab to a towel holder and putting out the diaper, and I would be like, I just put the diaper like that. So that was my technique of putting diaper on for him. So we also had this thing where they live in this really beautiful house, and it was facing the ocean, and I used to they had a pool, so I loved to take him out to the pool, just to walk him around. So he had a walker, so at the beginning I was just kind of pulling him in his walker, and he would just do this. But for some reason I thought I could cure him, so I would be taking the walker away from him, and I would be because I had the other thing is I learned a little bit of Arabic, so I would be okay, John, yalla, yalla. So then John would be so I don't know, I wasn't beaming, I was just trying to cure him. So anyway, but things weren't that easy for me there. My first time that I had to change him, that was a tough thing for me. Because, I remember I sat him on the toilet and I had to wait for an hour. And I remember it was this orchestra of farts and smells, and I'm waiting outside, and I'm oh my God. I'll be are you done, John? Ah! And I'm oh God. So finally, I thought he was done, so I helped him out, and he basically helped him out, and there was a very small bathroom. So in front of the toilet, there was the towel holder, so which I used to change him. So I carried him up, and he just was grabbing against the towel holder in this position like this. So I'm okay. I was this is not hard, I can do this. I changed my little brother when he was a baby, so I don't think this is hard. By the way, when you think that when you have all this money and you go to these places and hire people, you will get the best service, but instead you get somebody like me. So it's but anyway, so, I was ready to change him, so I grabbed some rubber gloves and I put the glove on, and I was okay, I can do this. So then I look at him, and he has these two saggy cheeks, and I grab some toilet paper, and I'm just rubbing on it, and I'm about to put my hand in, I'm okay, I can do this. I can't do this. So I'm fuck this place, I'm going back to my country, this is not for me. I was a teacher back home. So I was no. So I was all of a sudden he starts getting desperate, and his wife is she wants me to put him in bed. So I'm all this drama in the bathroom, he's ah. So I'm okay, what do I do, what do I do? So I went back to the things that I always do. I started to sing. So I turned to the mirror, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm oh my God. So then I closed my eyes, and I just breathed, and I began, a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. I'm I can do this. So I'm turning, and all of a sudden I feel I slip, and I open my eyes, and I see him cascading a pile of shit on the floor, just like that. And I'm there was my note right there. So I'm so I was I breathe, I learned to breathe. So, and then I, was finally I changed them, and I put him to bed, and then I went back, and, so I did what I always do, sing. So I was on my knees, and I began to, a spoonful of sugar. Thank you.
The Oregon. Please put your hands together for Mike Bunn!
Thanks everybody for coming out. It's the Christmas season, and I love Christmas. There's people shopping over on the promenade, there's families getting together, little beautiful tiny baby Jesus in the manger. But there's a lot of other babies out there. There's a lot of ugly babies. And some of these babies, they don't look like the Son of God. Some of these babies, they look like lesbian dwarf truckers. And the problem with these babies is that we're all supposed to pretend they're beautiful and adorable and precious, no matter how ugly they are. They can have mouth fungus and skin like a bat, but we're supposed to want to hold them. The problem for me is that mothers always come up to me, do you want to hold them? What is it about me that projects the notion that I want to hold disgusting things in my hand? If you have a cat and it swipes the head off a mouse, are you going to pick up that mouse in your fingers and ask me if I want to hold it? It's the same thing as holding a baby. And it's not just people who are always trying to push things on me. Pets. The moment I walk into a room, no, I'm not an animal person. I can walk into a friend's apartment, make eye contact with the dog across the way, and I know instantly what he's thinking. Look at that tall drink of water over there. I want to smash my snout into his balls. The dog starts sprinting, full speed, the dog version of Chariots of Fire playing in its head. I instinctively duck into that crouch that every man who's ever had his balls exploded by a baseball or an errant javelin knows to duck into. But it's too late. The dog smashes himself into my crotch, then looks up. I'm ready to be petted now. Still, it's better than holding a baby that looks like Screech. There's a company in New Jersey that is selling sex robots. Female sex robots. Her name's Roxy, and she retails for about $3,000. What's great is for that kind of money, you can have your preferences. You can choose her eye color. You can choose her pubic hair color. You can even choose her pubic hair style. Among the choices, bikini, Brazilian, and quote, natural growth. The best part of the website, though, is that there's the inventor, this guy Douglas Hines. He's sort of this schleppy little dude. He wears sort of like a lab coat, like he's an official doctor, and he's sitting on the sofa next to Roxy. And he has this whole explanation of the changes they've made to this version of the sex robot based on customer feedback. You wanted her to move back and forth, and now she does. You didn't want a heavy robot, and now she's only 60 pounds, which is great, because it's like seducing a fourth grader. She emits snoring, sleepy talk, and escalating orgasmic yelps. You can now see the skin, in her skin, you can now see veins and small bones. Yes, finally. If I could design a sex robot, she'd look just like Uncle Jesse from Full House. Because no one can resist John Stamos. I'd like to taste his hair right now. And she'd have a place in the back of her head where I could put my iPod. That way, every time she opened her mouth, I'd hear something awesome, like the Macarena or Informer by Snow. Informer, a lick it boom boom down. And that way, I would get in the mood. And forget all that business about pubic hair. I would just, I'd be like a Slurpee dispenser in her crotch. That way I'd want to go down there. But my question is this. At what point do you decide you're going to order a sex robot? What has to happen to you? Are you at home watching Toy Story and you're thinking, Buzz Lightyear's looking kind of good? Are you walking through the living room, see the VCR and think, I really want to put my dick in there? Did you go to football camp at Penn State? That's all I got. Thank you very much.
Let's start with Mike Bond. All right, coming up next to the stage, this girl is awesome. Please put your hands together for Shalana Kennedy.
If I suck, you can blame them. First of all, you can blame my cousin Taylor, because we have like half of the same DNA, and she's actually hysterically funny, and she was doing stand-up, so I thought, oh, I can do it. And then you can blame Pollyanna Jacobs, because she bought a Groupon that she couldn't use because she had to go be filming in New York, and she gave it to me, so that's why I'm here. And also because I got fired, and I thought, you know, stand-up, that's a great career. So easy, really easy. So anyway, I'm a mom. Yes, I'm a mom, and yeah, I had a one-night stand and got knocked up and had myself a kid. Woohoo! But it wasn't with an NBA player. Boo. And like, I honestly, like, I don't remember what the guy looks like, and you know, I don't know. It's one-night stands are like never ever worth the trouble. So you young ones, you know, take my advice. But I did the responsible thing. I gave the kid up for adoption. Just kidding. I sold it. And you know, I'll tell you, like, black babies, they don't sell for that much. You know, unless they're from Africa. And you know, I did my best. Like, I put the little picture up, and I called it Kunta Kinte. And like, you know, I put the picture up. I put some like kente cloth on the baby, but my baby was too fat. So everyone knew it wasn't from Africa. Sad story, actually. That's not true. I do have kids, and I have wanted to sell them on many an occasion, but I have not sold them, and I do actually have, I know the father, and we still have sex. You know, more than, you know, actually we actually have so much sex, he had to get a vasectomy, because clearly we couldn't understand birth control. Like, we're, you know, middle-aged people that like kept messing up the birth control, so finally we were like, put a stop to it. And now we have 4 kids, and they're really, really cute. Really cute. I just love them so much. And you know, I'm trying, like I try to do like all the great things that my mom did, and I'm trying to not do all the horrible things that she did, but you know, it's hard not to. You know, you just fall back into that, you know, pattern of behavior. But you know, one of the things, I think one of the worst things my mom did is she gave me too much praise. She's like, Shalana, you're so smart. Shalana, you're so talented. Shalana, you're so beautiful. And like, I believed her. Like, you know, I was like, I thought I was the bee's knees. I was like, you know, student body president. I was like a rad, and I thought I was fantastic. Until I finally saw a mirror in high school. And that was like, we had no mirrors in our house. So finally I saw a mirror, and I was like, big, you know, these horrible big thick glasses and like braces, and I was like overweight. And I was like, oh my God, she lied to me. So now I make sure that I do not give my kids any praise. None. If they do something good, I go, so what? That's not as good as you know, that kid, the other kid. Just like, whatever. They don't need any more praise. They have too much praise. The grandma, my mom, is like, oh my God, Charlie, you farted. Oh, that's so cute. And she thinks like everything I do is amazing, which I guess for her it is. But I don't want them to have big heads. And you know, speaking of big head, there are like so many balls in my house. Like balls, like big old hairy balls, like middle-aged hairy balls, and like teenage hormonal balls, and like little boy balls, and like balls, like everywhere. And I never, you know, I was raised with women. I never thought I'd see so many balls in my life, and they're like driving me crazy. And you know, not only are there balls everywhere, like everywhere. And luckily, like I have not seen my stepson's balls, and I really don't want to, because that'll like drive me. Like I think I would die. But I see balls all the time, and not only balls, but like, they pee everywhere. Like you walk into our house, it smells like a public restroom. And I don't even know, like I'm trying to figure it out. Like I guess, Richard's tall, so like maybe it's like splashing out, and like Charlie and Leo, like maybe they're like I don't know, they see the toilet, but they're like looking at, chocolate, or I don't know. And I'm trying to figure out like what the fuck, like what is so hard about getting your piss in the toilet? It's like driving me nuts. I'm like, maybe I should train them to like sit down, right? Like, what's so bad about that? Like, why can't they just pee? Like, why can't they pee sitting down? Richard's like, no, you'll emasculate them. You'll emasculate them. I'm like, well, I'm trying to emasculate them already. I mean, like, why not? Why not? Then I don't have to smell pee all the time. And I will tell you, like seriously, like, come over, please. I think you'll have a great time. I promise. You slip on pee, and what was I gonna say? Oh, like I was gonna go on. I think it's my time, but my stepson, he's a really good guy. Like my friends, my close friends, are like, Jordan's really a good kid. I'm like, Jordan. He's like 16, and it's like I glimpse into the future when Charlie and Leo, they're 18 months apart. So I'm gonna have like 2 teenage boys who are gonna be like eating everything. Like he eats everything in the house, but only things that he himself did not make. It's like a sandwich, too complicated. But like I'll come home, like going to the farmer's market, all the fruit and vegetables will be gone. It's like what? Like I can't cook because there's no fruits and vegetables. I actually sometimes I leave out fake food to see if he'll eat it. Like the other day I put pencil shavings with some cheese on top, and he was like, great nachos. Anyway, that's my time. Come over, I'll make some pencil shaving nachos for you. Thank you.
This pro comes all the way from Ohio. Please put your hands together for Elizabeth Weeman.
I'm too lazy to stand, so I'm gonna sit. And I want to get a little serious with you guys because we've been laughing a lot. And I just want to say, I fucking hate cats. And my parents are assholes. So, like, I've always hated cats. Like, my entire life I've always hated cats. And, I mean, to be fair, my parents were only assholes when I lived with them, so pretty much my childhood. And growing up, I was allergic to cats, severely allergic to cats. So I would wake up with, like, rashes on my body, and I would be sneezing all the time. And, like, cats just made it hard for me to, breathe. So so my parents like always made sure to have cats. They always had cats. They always had like 4 or 5 cats, and then like one of those cats would poop out a litter, and then they'd keep like 3 of them just to torture me because they hated me. And yeah, so I outgrew my allergy finally. Like it finally went away for the most part, unless like a cat licks me for an hour and then I'm allergic to it again. But but my hatred for cats, I never outgrew that. Like I never outgrew my hatred, and I've never hidden this from people. I'm not afraid to tell people that I hate cats. My friends who have cats know that if I'm coming over to visit, that they need to hide their cat in a closet, because otherwise I will flip out on the cat and blame it for all of my problems. Like I'll get in an accident and it's the cat's fault. I'm like, fucking cats. So, but I love dogs. Dogs are cool. So I decided to get a puppy. And I went to my landlord to see how much more it was going to be to have a puppy, because they always charge more because they are assholes as well. And he's like, you can't have a dog, but you can have a cat. I'm like, okay, great. So my landlord is in cahoots with my parents because he's making me get a cat now. This is awesome. And like the reason I wanted a dog is because like I wanted like security in my apartment because I live alone, and I figured it'd be good companionship too. And like dogs are cool. Like they like get excited when you come home. Like cats are like running away like, fuck you, I don't care that you're home, you're ruining my good time. I was sleeping perfectly. And so I was like, well, maybe if I get a kitten and like raise it from scratch, then I can raise it like a dog. I mean, it'll still look like a cat. It'll look like a stupid little cat, but maybe it'll like act like a dog and like wag its tail when I come home instead. So I go to this vet office that just got a new batch of kittens in, and they were like, well, you can't take the kittens home yet because they aren't old enough. And I'm like, so you have to wait for kittens to ripen to take them home? This is retarded. So I'm waiting for my kitten to ripen, and I get all excited, and I'm turning into like this like pet mommy, and I go to the pet store, and I'm like walking through the dog aisles, and like I buy a leash, and I buy some like chew toys, and some rawhide bones, and like I do research on like what the best dog parks are, because I think it's important for my dog to socialize. And then I finally get the call that I can come get my kitten, and I get there, and they hand me this like decrepit, old-looking thing, and it like has like a beard and like these like old wise like pain-staken eyes, like this kitten in its 5 weeks of life has seen some shit, you know what I mean? So yeah, so like I decided to name him Little Old Man because it's like the only appropriate name, because he like needs a walker and he like forgets things. Like I take him home and I'm trying to get him to like fetch and roll over, and he can't understand the concept of either. And I finally got him to fetch, because if I don't give him food unless he fetches it, then he's pretty good about it. So, and he loves table scraps. Like, he loves table scraps, so I just feed him all my food, so I don't even have to buy food for him. He just eats like tomato soup and pizza like I do. And he loves car rides too. So like he like sticks his head out the window and like, you know, barks at all the cars that go by and like wags his tail. And he just loves loves car rides, which is good, because I pretty much live in my car. I'm like gone for like 16 hours a day. My apartment is really just a facade, like not really important. So I'm like gone for like 16 hours a day, and since I live in my car, like I do everything in my car. I like sleep in my car, I eat in my car, like my entire back seat is full of clothing, like it's an entire closet, and my whole front seat is covered in like garbage, just like trash, like galore, because I eat a lot of fast food. And I'm just like really lazy, and I don't want to throw it away and like find a trash can for it, so it just ends up on the floor. And then it starts to smell, and like I don't throw anything away until something really starts to smell, like, I mean bad, like rancid milk or meat or something. And then I'll find the source of the problem and hand it to the fast food drive-through window person and let them throw it away, because you can do that, I found out. And so I'm usually okay with my mess, and like my friends get in there and like I'm just like figure out what the smell is and you win a prize. And so like I'm used to my mess, but right now there's this huge box in my back seat. It's driving me nuts, because it's just like taking up the entire back seat, and I barely have any room for my clothes. And it's a TV, it's an HD TV, and it's just sitting there. It's been there for like a week, and I'm just too lazy to take it out of the back seat. And the reason I have it is because I had to buy it online, and it's just sitting there. And like, I mean, I have good reason. Like, parking in my neighborhood sucks balls. So I have to like park like 3 blocks away, and I don't even want to carry my own body weight 3 blocks, let alone a TV. So it just sits there. And like the sad part is I have a garage. So I could park in my garage, but there's always somebody parked in front of my garage, so I can't get into my garage. And even if I got into my garage, then I would be stuck in there. And so I'd be like living in my car, in my garage, eating like delivered pizza, and like trying to figure out what the hell that smell is. And that's my time.
We're down to our last performer of the night. She is awesome. She comes from DC. Please put your hands together for Janice Hicks!
Oh, they was break it down for me. Whoa, loving that. Oh yeah, speaking of love, how many of you have ever truly been in love? No, I'm not talking that, oh wow, I think I want to spend the rest of my life with this motherfucker kind of love. I'm talking that crazy love. That crazy love that starts with a capital L, U, S, T. That crazy kind of love that makes you not only blind, but apparently deaf and dumb too. I would like to take the opportunity to welcome you to my world. Because that man goes by the name of Kenny. You know, I met Kenny at a time when the stars were aligned and okay, let's cut the bullshit. Kenny was looking like a sandwich, and I ain't had a meal in weeks. And I mean, it was like, you know, not one of those Vienna sausage sandwiches, but a ballpark Frank that plump when you cook it kind of meat. You know, so there were a few things I was able to, you know, overlook about Kenny, because Kenny had 4 children by his ex-wife. I was all right with that. He's a family man. Kenny had 3 on-call jobs, but nobody was calling him. Probably because his ass didn't have a telephone. But I could overlook that. And then when I met Kenny, he said, you know, baby, let me take you out to a dollar date. We're gonna go to the dollar movie theater, then stop by the McDonald's and get something off the dollar menu. You know, and then I'll lay $1 worth of sweet love on you. I thought, all right. This sounds like something I can work with. So, you know, I did. And so we commenced to having a relationship, as we say back home. You know, and as time goes on, you get to learn a few more things about that person that you're head over heels in lust with. And you know, Kenny moved in with me. Okay, I'm sorry, you gotta have the meal at home, okay? Sometimes you can't always get takeout, you know, you just gotta make sure you got it at home. And, you know, because now he had a phone where he could actually get phone calls and get work. There we go. And so we were, you know, waiting tables, working a shift together, and, you know, really chill thing. We're working next to each other. I'm thinking, this is like really cool. We're working together. This is bonding here, bonding. You know, so he's at the table, you know, we're serving the salad, he's passing the rolls, and he's like, yo, man, you want to roll? Yo, bitch want to roll? Yo, man, you want to roll? Yo, bitch want to roll? You know, I didn't get a chance to get to tell him to the table, not exactly the etiquette of passing rolls, but okay, whatever. So, you know, they go through, they eat the little meal, we're cleaning off the table, and this woman had this filet mignon. She'd apparently taken maybe 1-2 bites out of it. And he looks down at it and he's like, yo, this is really good stuff. You're not gonna eat that? And she's like, oh no, I think I've had enough. And he's like, really, that's really good. Before I could stop him, he reaches onto her plate with his hands, pulls off her filet mignon, bites into it, and says, damn, this is good. Yeah, I guess he just needed to verify that for himself. Well, he'd never been hired back at that location again. It was kind of hard to get him work there again. But, you know, we can overlook these things because, you know, we're in L-U-S-T, right? So, seeing that he had 4 kids, it was Father's Day. So I'm like, you know, baby, let me take you out for dinner. And so I take him to a place back home called Shoney's. Shoney's is like a big boy. And he says, yo, baby, I've never been to a nice restaurant like this before. Okay, they put your silverware in a plastic baggie. This is a nice restaurant. But, you know, I'm in love, and this is okay. I can overlook this. You know, so we get that very famous all-you-can-eat soup and salad bar that our Shoney's is very well known for, and we're going through the meal, and I happen to look across the table, and I'm staring at the bottom of a bowl. And I'm like, boo, it's all-you-can-eat soup and salad bar. You can go back and get some more of that soup. No need to lick the bowl. And he's like, well, you know, I've got it flavored just the way I like it. I'm thinking, fuck, but I'm in love. This is all right. And he's like, then he stops, you know, he orders some beef liver and onions, and waitress serves it. And he's like, yo, waitress, can you get that chef to hook me up with some chicken gravy so I can sop my biscuit in it? Yeah, I'm taking a little strain on that love right about now, but you know, I'm willing to overlook that. So I'm willing to overlook that until it's time, you know, you go into the relationship and you've been in there 4 weeks already, and you get to the point where it's time to meet the mom and dad. You gotta get the mom and dad approval. So mom and dad have to be 6 hours away. He says, to meet your folks, I'm gonna go out and get a special outfit. Oh yeah, here we go. He goes out, goes shopping, comes back with this gray pants. They're just a kind of shiny, and this gray shirt that's kind of shiny, with this slim, kind of shiny tie, and these pleather shoes with tassels. I didn't say leather, I did say pleather. Sort of ache skin, not quite snake skin. And this gray hat with a red feather sticking out of it. This is apparently meet your folks attire. But, you know, my folks will love him too. They'll see beyond what's on the outside. This is all good. So we take that 6-hour drive, go over to see my folks. And Mom couldn't stand there from the get-go, and she's like, where the hell did you get this from? Can you take it back? She kind of refused to feed him, which is kind of odd for Southern families will bring you their home and feed you. She was not feeding this man. So I'm like, oh, darn. Well, maybe he and my father will bond. So a little bit of the day passes. He and my father are in the kitchen talking. They're talking about automobiles. My father's a mechanic. We are in good now. Oh, yeah. I'm getting ready to come around the corner to see my man and my dad having that conversation. And he leans back and he says, you know, Russell, I used to do an 8-ball of crack cocaine a week before I met Jan. What the fuck? Well, that was news to me, but more news to my father, who basically clutched his wallet during the course of the evening. Mom and Dad started hiding all the valuables until we drove off that morning. As my mother hugged me goodbye, she said, okay, Janice, do the following. Once you cross the state line, pull him to the rest stop, let him go to the restroom. As he pushes the bathroom door open, put the car in reverse, go forward, don't look in the rearview mirror, and leave him there. Well, I didn't think that was very nice. So we make the drive home. As I'm pulling into the house of my apartment, my phone is ringing. I pick up the phone, it's Mom. She says, did you do it? I'm like, do what? You leave it? I'm like, no, I thought you were kidding. She's like, no. Damn it, he probably would have found his ass home anyway. So another 2 weeks later, I come home and he's, you know, kicked back on the couch because he had a problem finding any jobs after that last episode. And he's watching TV, apparently watching my cable with his feet on my coffee table. And I just worked a 13-hour shift, and for all of you who know, romance without finance is a nuisance. And he's got this like little glass pipe that he's puffing on. And I'm like, what the fuck is, oh hell no. Last straw for me. Snatch it out of his hand, toss it down the stairs outside the front door. You know this motherfucker looked at me and looked down the stairs, then looked back at me, and then ran downstairs after the crack pipe. I said, I'll be damned, the pussy's up here. God damn it. But okay, I won because, you know, so I made a few wrong choices, you know, but Commonwealth's attorney found him. He's now doing time. So, you know, if you women are out there looking for a ballpark Frank that plumps in when you cook it, he is very secure behind bars at Virginia State Pen. And, you know, that's what crazy love is all about. Don't go that kind of crazy. That's my time. Thank you all very much.
Welcome to Genesis! And that's our show, everybody! One, if you saw the show and you were thinking, I could do that, you totally can. If you go to westsidecomedy.com, you can find out information about classes in stand-up and in improv. And also, you can see our full calendars of different types of shows. Also, if you paid for this show, it's good for the whole night, and you can see the next show for free. Also, all the comedians that perform tonight, they didn't get paid. So show them your appreciation, buy them drinks, get them nice and toasty, all right? So one more time for all the comics that you saw tonight. Starting from the top, let's see, Carissa D, Luis Carlos, Mike Bunn, Eddie, Elizabeth Lehman, and Dennis Hicks. I've been Take care, have a great night, and how about it?